Wife of 14 years had an affair 6 years ago. My wife and I got together when she was 16 and I was 17. Now we are in our early 30s, no kids. I've always thought of her as the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. We've never argued. She's never been with anyone before me. I dated few girls before her. It was kind of serious with one of them. One thing was that she literally never initiated sex with me. I always had to be the one to start. I just thought that her libido is low and sex is not that important for her. So I, well, dealt with it solo style. It was never the dead bedroom situation though. We had sex at regular intervals. About 3 years into the relationship, she broke up with me, citing I'm in love with another guy as the reason. She immediately regretted it and we got back together a few days later. I know that you will probably think that she cheated on me during those days, but I honestly believe it was just a temporal fuck up from her side and nothing happened with that guy. She didn't even tell him. I actually know him. He was her classmate and we talked to each other a few times and there was no indication of anything whatsoever. Also, it would invalid her later argument. I wanted to try sex with another guy, which I believe is honest. But I will get, however, it did put a strain on our relationship. Fast forward another 4 years. I finished college and started working full time. She was finishing her college. We were still living with our parents, but also about 10 minutes away from each other. We grew up in the same neighborhood. In my head, the plan was always to move in together after we finished colleges, but from current perspective, the plan was not communicated enough. About that time, she started to spend time with a new group of friends and especially this one guy. From my point of view, our relationship was still pretty much perfect, but my gut told me to be wary about this guy. I knew that they met alone occasionally and I saw them texting. So, one day, when she was spending the night at my parents' place, I checked her phone. I didn't even feel guilty about it because I knew that she also checked my phone at least one time before and I wasn't mad about it at all, even laugh about it. I did not found anything specifically romantic. They were supposed to meet that exact day later, which she did not tell me about, but okay, she has right to meet her friend, even though I'm not thrilled about this guy. So I scrolled a little more and I found these 3 messages. Guy, my flat is free this night. Do you want to come over and spend the night? Wife, I think it would be weird if I just came over for the whole night. Guy, okay, it would be easier if we would stop all the secrecy. And that was the end of the conversation. My heart sunk. I confronted her immediately. And now comes the part where I am a gullible idiot. She said that he's a friend, that she enjoys his company. She swore that nothing happened between them, that he's trying to pursue her romantically, but she's not reciprocating it, that he tried to kiss her once, but she pushed him away. Needless to say, it did not add up with the messages, but I could never even imagine her cheating on me, so I bought it to a certain point. I thought, okay, maybe they kissed once while drunk and then she immediately regretted it and it never happened again. She said that she did not know what he meant by that secrecy. We made up the same day. She swore to never meet with him alone again. However, she did continue to hang out with this group of friends where he was included. Few times she even went to hang out with them after our date, leaving me to go home alone. I called the guy few days after I found the messages, not sure why, probably just to tell him he's an asshole and to leave my girlfriend alone. He basically laughed to my face. So I threatened to tell his fiancé, yes, he had a fiancé. He told me I'm free to do so, that they have open relationship. I told her anyway just to make sure he's not bluffing, but well, he wasn't. That was about 6.5 years ago. Half a year after that, we moved in together with my then girlfriend. Later we got married and I thought everything was perfect. This incident came to my mind every now and then and the messages never fully made sense to me. I thought about confronting my wife, but I never did. Until this month, we were attending this festival. Our friends group split for a few hours to attend different activities. She was in one half, I was in the other. When we regrouped again, she was blackout drunk. That was not unusual for her. She can't really handle alcohol sometimes and even though I'm not happy about it, she gets to this condition every now and then. However, when we arrived, I saw one of the friends holding her around the hip. He also left immediately when he saw us coming, which looked quite suspicious to me. Looking back, this was probably innocent and he was just holding her so she wouldn't fall to the ground and he left when he saw us to go to get shots. He's known to buy shots all the time, so he probably just wanted to buy shots for our half of the group. I don't know. My wife and I left immediately after I arrived and saw her condition, but it reminded me of the incident from 6 years ago and it got me thinking. When I was carrying my drunk wife back to the hotel room, I asked her about the hand around the hip and also about the earlier incident. She completely avoided talking about the latter, so I asked her directly, told her that I don't believe she told me everything. Then, she finally admitted that they kissed. I got angry, but it also got me thinking even more. We went to sleep. Next morning I woke up early and came up with a plan to trick her. I woke her up and told her that last night she told me that she slept with the guy 6 years ago, hoping that she won't remember it's not true because of the alcohol. I was expecting something like, what the hell are you talking about? I couldn't have told you that because that never happened. Boy, was I wrong. All I got was a guilty silence, and then, finally, confession. I packed my things and left her there. I was shaking, she was crying, and because she was still drunk and probably in shock, she told me few really stupid arguments. Your father also cheated on your mother is the winner. She arrived home few hours later as I was her ride and she had to take a train. Then we talked. She said that she didn't feel like I was attracted to her physically as I never complimented her on her looks or anything. That's my fault and I accept that. I've never been a person to communicate my emotions that much. Then this guy came and flooded her with compliments, which she was starved for, even though it was just to get into her panties. She also mentioned that this situation improved drastically after we moved in together and she doesn't feel that way anymore, at least not that much. Then there was the argument from earlier that she wanted to try to have sex with someone else, so she admitted that they slept together once. And yeah, that does not add up with the earlier messages and my conversation with the guy's fiancé. So the next day, after I thought about it, I came to her and said that I don't believe that it was a one-time thing. She insisted that it only happened once, so I threatened her that I will ask the guy or his fiancé. Immediately, she admitted that it was actually going on for 2 months until I caught them, so it would actually continue if I didn't catch them. To be precise, they planned to have sex the same day I caught them, few hours after she had sex with me. Later, by establishing the timeline, I found out the affair was actually going on for almost 6 months. She said that she doesn't remember it precisely, which I believe because it's not much of a difference. But she admitted that they had sex about every 2 weeks during that time, and she said that she would probably end it in a month or two because of the guilt. But we will never know because I caught them earlier. The worst thing is that she's never told me the truth. I had to trick her into telling me that they actually slept together, and then again, I had to threaten her to get her to admit that it was a full-blown affair going on for months. My obvious question was if there was someone else except this guy. She swore that there was no one else. I tend to believe her because this was most probably the first guy she cheated with, and shortly after this affair we moved in together and the situation improved. Also, as I told her at that point, the pros of telling me the truth at least once would outweigh the cons of her cheating with one more guy. But then again, how can I trust her after all of that? I'm not looking for any answers here. I just wanted to get it out. After finding out, I never considered divorcing her. We agreed to work on things. I will communicate my emotions more and make her feel more attractive. I do find her attractive and always have. It was just a communication problem. So a general improvement in the communication. One positive thing is that now I know that she actually enjoys sex and she's just been really shy about it. We can work on that. She promised to be more initiative. She also promised never to lie to me again, which I hope she's already not doing, and to stop overusing the alcohol. Well, that's about it. Thank you for reading this. Oh, and BTW, she did spend a night at the guy's place later after the messages. I should have mentioned that, but she did take a full responsibility for the affair and did not blame me. She looks honestly remorse, like she really regrets what she has done and not that she got caught. She's been crying for the last week and barely ate anything.